Welcome back to the Teach, Inspire, Grow podcast here with Helen Hughes. But I have an amazing guest today, Paul Dillion from Ultifloat. And
Thanks very
before
much.
we dive into our conversation, I always like to ask the same question because just being nosy, really, to be honest, to see what your answer is and what everybody's answer is to the same questions. But it's a nice start to flow into our brilliant conversation that we're going today about your amazing product that you have designed. But anyway, here's your question.
Fire away.
What's your very first memory of water, and how do you think that memory has shaped the way that you see swimming today?
Wow, great question. Great question.
Good.
I was incredibly lucky because I come from quite a swimming family. So my dad was a swim teacher and a swim coach, and I had an elder sister who was a swimmer as well. In fact, she was a talent in the family. She actually swam properly, and I tried my best. I was a worthy club swimmer, but I wasn't. She was talented, and I was just a workhorse. But I have a really vivid memory, and I think about this all the time.
Okay.
I have a really vivid memory of my father, God rest his soul, he passed 2 years ago, of a Swiss cottage in the Adelaide pool. So this is like 1981. We're not old, okay. And they had two pools at the Belsize and the Adelaide. And the Adelaide was the big one. I think, anyway, if I'm getting it correctly. It was 33 and a third. Always a great number for those. I love those 33 and a third meter pools. Who was thinking that up? Anyway. And I'd obviously been in the water as a little fella, and with my dad and my mum one day. And then one day he said, "We're going to go past the line today." And the line was about a meter deep or whatever. It was so it was.
I was you're going into the deep end.
Yeah, and it wasn't a deep end, but it was. And I remember being 4 or 5 at this point. Yeah. And I don't remember much about it, but I just remember that being the thing, going past the line.
Right.
And so I went past the line, and I jumped in and swam to him in some way or form or what have you. And then he got me, like hugs, high fives, whatever. Yeah. And I swam all the way back. And I never ever feared the deep end. I don't think I'd been afraid of it, but I'd never been to the deep end before. Right. I was only about 4 and a bit or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was, and then I had a 2-finger Kit Kat afterwards in the cafeteria. Living the dream. And you're living the dream. You were living the dream, for sure. You got hugs, high fives, and a Kit Kat. What more could you possibly want?
And what's no stickers, no certifications, well done, it's all that intrinsic motivation.
I was very, I remember as a kid, I remember getting my 5-meter badge and 10-meter badge. Right. The ASA did the whole lot, and my mother dutifully stitched the badges on the towel and all that sort of stuff. That is my first and probably my favourite swimming memory. I remember standing on a block as the anchor at the London Youth Games, and first and second had already finished and I hadn't got in yet. And you're like, wow, that is not a memory I look back on with particular relish. And me and some other poor fella raced for 8th. Was basically winning. But of all the swimming memories, I think that would be brought a little tear to my eye. There you go. That would be my first ever full-on grab me swimming memory.
That feeling of enjoyment of the water and being with your dad and
the whole thing.
Did you do formal lessons with your dad as a coach, as a teacher then, or
no? Bless him. He was very much. I had lessons with whoever was teaching at that time, so at Swiss, and I had quite a lot of lessons with a very nice teacher I still know actually, called Tamsin, whose son was a brilliant swimmer, went nationals, the whole thing. But no, my dad, he coached me when I was older, but when I was little. But to be fair, we swam all the time. So I imagine. So looking back, obviously he was teaching me, but I didn't think of that as teaching. You know what I mean?
Formal, you're gonna do this like a drill set type thing.
I just remember as a young person, like as being like 5 or 6 and having like little class lessons, and you're holding the wall and you're doing your legs and those horrible little white floats with bite marks and brown stains. But I remember those. But I remember always being like, oh, I'm quite good at this.
Right.
But you didn't do 2 add 2 is course, because my dad took me swimming 5 times last week. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because that was something we did for fun. That was just what we did for fun. So naturally you end up being quite good. And I've always thought that about when I teach, because I run a swim school and I'm a teacher and coach. When a child gets good, they enjoy it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. When they get good, they enjoy stuff. So my motivation is to get them good.
So do you feel then, because of the way that you had that positive experience as your dad being that teacher as well, you wanted to do the same thing? How did you then start thinking, oh, I want to do more as well myself?
First of all, it happened by accident. So my first ever lesson, the squad swimmers were waiting. You couldn't do this now. Can you imagine this now? I'll tell you. But the squad swimmers, you know, were waiting to go into the water. We got there because my dad was there earlier. So he'd take the beginners and the little people with the other myriad teachers. And then, I'd just sit there like doing homework, waiting. And then back afterwards, the squads went in when the pool was empty. And then someone didn't turn up. Someone didn't show or stuck in traffic or whatever it was. And I was just literally grabbed out of the sort of gallery, jump in there and just take these kids. And I was like 15 and I was thrown into a pool at the Mallinson pool in Highgate, which is Highgate's school pool, with about 6 or 7 small children.
Right.
And just, off you go. And that was it. And every other teacher was teaching. And I was like, 15-year-old me was like, okay. But I had been around swimming my whole life. I'd swum every day of my life pretty much. I'd seen lessons 1,000 times. I'd sat there watching lessons 1,000 times. And that was my first teaching memory. I remember it clearly because I was like, okay, let's do this. Quite formulaic about it. And I was quite formulaic. I just stuck to the principles of to get the head down at it. And I had these little beginners. And then we did kicking on our front and kicking on our back. And we had a great old time. And it was like, okay. And then I realized I was good at it.
Brilliant.
You know,
do you then thought, did they carry you on going, or when person turned up, you have it now? Or
it was pointed out by someone that with no formal training, no DBS and all that, they were like, we probably shouldn't do that too often. And I was like, oh, can I get qualified? They're like, no. You're 15. No. So there was a slight awkward moment. But a year later, I, like a lot of people, did my assistance and then started helping out. And then it grew from there then. And 32 years later, we're still knocking around the joint.
So doing your qualifications, everything, when did you then decide? So do you have your own swim school now then? Or do you also tell me about that?
As a young person, I started teaching.
Yeah.
But the eternal problem with being a swim teacher is not that it's well remunerated, not that it's not rewarding, not that it's not fun. All these things are true. The eternal problem with being a swim teacher is getting banks of hours. Yeah. So I started teaching, but I was teaching a couple of hours here, a couple of hours there. Fridays particularly. Now we fast forward to kind of 2000. On a Friday, I taught at about, I think, 4 or 5 pools some Fridays. Right. From Chelsea, Kentish Town, Kensington Leisure Centre, Swiss Cottage, and the Mallinson. Those are 5 pools I did in a day. Right. I was on a bus as much as I was teaching. So I got a little moped. A little scooter, which I was on for 20 years because it was very convenient.
Oh, of course.
It was though. And that was it. And then a few years later after that, I set up my own school, Paul Dillion Swimming. We just won an award actually literally about a month ago. We won Children's Swimming Provider of the Year from
congratulations.
I know, we're very pleased actually. From
I'm very proud of that. It's amazing.
I should be holding it up somewhere.
You should be in the background.
I know. So that was lovely. Nice to be recognised actually. And then we set up exactly 18 years ago. And when I first moved, I literally rented a lane, and people I was teaching from other places came with me. Yeah. And then we added another lane on, and we added another lane on. And for the last, God knows how long, we're currently teaching about 1,600 people every 12 weeks, children and adults. And we don't advertise because we're full. We're very proud of that, actually. I'm very proud of that.
So you opened one lane and then you stayed in that same place because you just built over. Wow.
2 lanes and then 3 lanes and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
We tried to branch out to a couple of other pools about 6 years ago, but one of them was a nice pool, but it had no parking.
Right.
And that was a real problem, problem. Yeah, you do need your parking. But also one of the biggest issues is trying to find staff.
Yeah.
And we have about 25 staff, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
We only do 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 lessons. So
Okay.
we have a very high staff ratio.
Yeah.
And that was a real situation in terms of, you can find staff. That's not true. You can find staff. Can you find the staff that you really want and that fit? Not always.
Right.
But also, this is an interesting thing. Someone I know, a mate of mine, started a company doing sports for children, not swimming, but sport children, when I did. And I watched him with real awe as he grew incredibly quickly. He had about sort of 18 sites all over London within about 12 months.
Wow.
And then within 24 months, it was gone. And I was always very aware that quality, really keeping quality high is key to anything. And having the site, the one site, being there every day, and I'm literally there 7 days a week, is that we've carried on being the brand that we are.
Yeah.
And you run a small business. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
You're not working. It's a vocation. I really care. Like, I really care. And I have to be there every day because I really care.
Yeah. You want to be
Plus,
there.
I really enjoy it. I really enjoy what we do.
Yeah. You wouldn't. Yeah, you couldn't do that in another job, doing it 7 days a week, and and it's not just the teaching; it's everything else that comes with running a business, isn't it? Yeah. And then it's also if staff members don't turn up or call in sick, you've got to have a system in place. You've got to have a team of where you can rely on and trust. And if you build quickly in multiple places, that then adds on all of that, unless you have obviously a tier system of managements and what this, that, and the other. But then that comes with its problems and issues, because ultimately you set up what you want to set up with because of what fits with you, and it's very hard to find somebody that also has the same drive and love as you. And you can find them a little bit, but they can't be you, can they? And you don't want them to be you. But do
you know what's really interesting as well, actually, is everyone always says it whenever I bring on someone new. So we start them off, and you don't for the first term, you're not even teaching, you're just standing around watching. I want you to get the vibe of the whole thing, which sounds really a bit higgledy-piggledy, but there is a certain vibe, or a rhythm, maybe it's a rhythm is a better word. But they're always thrown because they turn up day one and I'm in the water. I'm in the water with a 3.5-year-old on a noodle, trying to get them kicking their legs, or trying to teach them to jump in over the line and what have you. And you're just thinking, they're like, why are you in the water? You're the boss. And you're like, because I really care. And this is what I'm doing. And this is what works for me. There's
a thing that's going on in America at the moment where the franchises are, I don't know if you've heard of the British Swim School. There's obviously a British lady that lived in America, and she set up this franchise, and now they're like they're like everywhere in America. Brilliant. Like they boomed. But because these almost like investors or business head people have been like, oh, cha-ching, they buy these franchises. They have no swim background, no teaching background. They literally buy it knowing that there is money into this. And it's gone completely wrong in the sense that they're running the show of all these these swimming lessons, and they have no idea. So they're almost like owning it, but then they're bringing in swimming teachers that are either probably cheap because they want to,
that's a bit
huge amounts of profit. So they have these we were both there once as well, but these youngsters that come in to then do all these lessons, And it's causing such an issue now over in America, because people then see, or parents then are thinking, oh, is this the way that swimming lessons should run and should be? And we're all going, no, it's not. And that's why I love that you've said that, because sometimes you can be a business or swim school owner, but then you end up behind the desk more than you are in the water, where it's a case of, actually, I want to still stay in the water and teach, because that's why I set it up.
Yeah, and also it's what I'm good at.
Right?
It's what I'm good at. It's what I enjoy. And you're like, great. It is funny. I know people who run swim schools who haven't got wet in 5 years, and you go, then you're just a guy reading emails. And I don't really, that's not something I want to do. I want to get in, and I want to teach people to swim, because that's what I enjoy doing, and that's why I've chosen the life that I've chosen. Also, you learn new things. What's very interesting about it is, I learned something the other day. Like literally, I was in the water with one of my staff, and I was trying to get a kid to do a roly-poly. And this little lad was about 7. We're trying to do roly-polies. And one of my staff was like, have you tried this? And we're in the water, and he showed me this little thing, and just a little game that he played. And the kid went for it and did it. And you're like, I'm 47, and I learned something today. And and it was lovely. That was really nice.
Absolutely. Always a learning day.
Yeah. And that was fun. That was fun. You've got to enjoy what you're doing. You've got to enjoy what you're doing.
Keep your toes in the water at the same time. But
we like a pun.
You go, dun. Tell me as well then, because you've branched out into the product world as well to enhance your lessons. So tell us a bit about your brilliant.
So I tell you what it is. It's Ultifloat. I really got the idea for Ultifloat. One, because being around swimming lessons my entire life and drilling people and what have you. Yeah. The biggest thing I've noticed, especially when you teach adults or kids or whatever, is that if you're struggling to kick, that's why even old school, we had the blabbed BLABD, body, okay, head down, let's go for it, head up, whatever. Legs, your legs are so important, especially when you're learning. When you're a triathlete and you've just done an Ironman, okay, don't worry about it so much if you don't want to. That's up to you, that's your call. When you're learning, you've got to get your legs right. And I just watched people get it wrong. And I was thinking, how can we get this better? How can we make this better? And then for school lessons particularly, you have such a short window. And I heard that stat recently from Swim England, because I saw this panel show, and they were saying the average child in England gets about 8 hours or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but not a lot of time.
Yeah, very small.
Yeah, the swimming provision is dreadful. But I've just been thinking, when I do school swimming lessons, which I do personally, and my staff do, how can we maximize what we've got? And that's where the Ultifloat was born. Because if you put your hands in the kicking handles, you kick and you're flat. Yeah. And if you hold on to the pulling handles, you pull and your hands are in the right place. You can't get it wrong. Right. And the idea, I was basically just trying to make my lesson slightly better. That's basically what it was. Yeah. And I saw people using kit, and no kit is wrong. You haven't got a float and you're trying to learn, any float will do. Yeah. Haven't got hand paddles, doesn't matter, we'll make do without them, or whatever it happens to be. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But if you do have hand paddles and you're doing an upper body section, then that's great, that helps. Yeah. And I just thought we could make this better. And so we did. And we toyed with it. We had different sizes, different buoyancies, the one that snapped. I really liked one. It was brilliant. I was like, this is perfect. Oh, okay. That lasted about 8 seconds. Yeah, you were like,
what's the next?
Okay, maybe slightly bendier would be good. But and then we tried. We made different prototypes. We tried them in the water. Yeah. And all these lovely children would be like, got something new to play with today. And they were like, oh, okay.
Wow,
and that was fine. And then when we got it right, we ordered 100 prototypes, which wasn't cheap actually. Getting prototypes made, horribly expensive. And and then they started, and then we just watched, and I was like, oh my god, please work, and it worked better than ever. And now we've been using them for just over a year, and all of our lessons, and it just makes lessons so much easier, and we've seen children progress so much faster, and not just in a 1-to-1 setting or 2-to-1 setting where the lessons are always excellent, always excellent. Okay, because you've got teachers that care, you've got a child then, and what have you. But in the group lessons, particularly, you're just watching people, whole swathes of people improve together,
right?
And that's really lovely.
Yeah.
And something that was also, I never had it, but I remember I really liked being really good at what I did, and kids like being good at what they do.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is there are children who aren't good at stuff.
Right.
And in a class setting, if you're teaching 30 kids, and you're the kid that can't go to the other end or can't go, then that obviously feels for you. You then, because you're very aware of it.
Yeah, of course.
And swimming's quite unforgiving like that. If you're not good at running, you just come a bit last.
You can stop.
If you aren't good at swimming, the whole class go to the other end.
Right.
And then just like having a positive experience is great for kids.
Yeah.
And once you want to do it again, a negative experience thinks, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't do that anymore at all.
And they're adamant not to, aren't they?
Yeah.
More than they would. Yeah.
So watching everyone progress has been brilliant. Watching children who would possibly be struggling a little bit improve so fast and so easily, and be able to sometimes, to be fair, you do have a kid still on the float when no one else is, but at least he or she is getting to the other end. At least they're doing everything everyone else is doing, and everyone's on it. So the uniformity has really helped with the class lessons in terms of everyone's done the same thing, everyone feels included, everyone feels connected, and so everyone just keeps going. So on every level, I'm over the moon.
But it's not just a float. It helps so many at different levels, doesn't it? In the sense that you're saying, it gives them that confidence, it gives them that boost, it gives them inclusivity, everything that it provides. And for those that haven't seen it, it's shaped half traditional kickboard.
I can't believe I didn't bring my trophy.
No, that's okay.
I haven't got a float in front of me.
I'll put a picture up because mine's down in my swim bag as well. So because I've been using it with my 4-year-old that I work with as well, and she loved it. And in fact, she sits on it.
Yes, it's very durable. Someone did point out there was
really
the only
good.
marketing
Thick,
flaw. The only marketing flaw, the flaw in my plan is that if you buy an Ultifloat, you'll never need another one. And they're like, oh, yes. I mean, they are quite tough.
Your upselling key there is.
I know, I've ruined that.
But do different colours. There you go.
Yes, different colours will definitely help. But you know what though? That's another thing. That's another thing where people have come up to me and they've just been on holiday, and they were like, "I took your float on holiday. I bought a float, took it on holiday. It fits in the bag because it's tiny, and my child practiced their swimming while they're on holiday, and." Because effectively the float is such a simple, all great ideas are simple, I think. If you follow there's only the basic rules of how to use it, you're getting that lesson without the float is teaching you. So I've had parents who are not themselves great swimmers, who often care. Honestly, I think that a lot of parents who aren't great swimmers really care that their kids are, because they're like, I'm a bit nervous, I don't want my kids to be nervous, solve this problem. And a lot of those have just come back and gone, brilliant, loved it. Yes, they had lots of fun jumping out of the water and charging around, but we did 10 minutes practice with the float every day, and our kids have come back with their technique improved after a holiday, which, let's face it, is something, again, it's different. The only really people that moan are my squad swimmers, because it makes them work a bit harder. And they're like, I
was going to say.
No leaning on the float and chatting. And you're like, sorry. Kick more. Is basically the answer there.
Remember the days of when we used to use fins during swimming, and obviously we used to have the longer one, and they were like, no, you've got to have the shorter ones. You were like, no, because you used to fly fast.
I was going to say, we talk about memories from swimming. Leg sets, leaning on a float with your big old fins on the back, chatting to your mate. Now that was a good swimming memory.
Oh, it really
was a good swimming memory.
Yeah, but then you got to the end, you were like, oh, my neck, because of the way that you were holding it.
But I'm not quite sure how much swimming I got done, if I'm perfectly honest. It's just chilling. In a way,
like,
though.
Yes, it's kick set. Yes. We were like, we can have a chat now.
But can I just say I love this, because if you talk to people that have been swimmers, there's certain little things that you always think of, and yeah, it's true though. And every now and again you'd come in. Do you remember seeing the set on the board?
Yeah.
And you had a set that you liked or a set you didn't like, and you'd come in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it really depends what you want.
Yeah.
So I still think I do remember when it was when I always think this actually. I think when the coaches had run out of things to do, they were like, "Go on, guys, whack your fins on, have a little lead on your float.
Let's do some tumble turn sessions today."
Yes. You were like,
you can stand halfway across the pool, and
you know what? I was all right with that. I'd take that over like the 2100s that they had planned the day before. You're like, no, I'm fine. No, it was yeah.
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's brilliant. So tell me then, because you, like you said, you've got that, you have the handles at the top, and then it's shaped, isn't it? Almost like one loop and then down another loop.
So the contoured back is so that the front handles force you to be flat and to kick and connect your core. At the back is where you see the real benefits for the beginners and for people who are learning. So the kicking handles really change things in terms of everyone's kicking, so whatever level you're at.
Yeah.
But the contoured handles are where, when you see people, it's about controlling when you come back from your recovery and your entry, you're taking the right handle or you're taking the left handle, and that's no one's crossing their central line. I think the biggest thing is it makes you think. You have a target to place your hand. You're not just launching it over. Yeah. Even in a ballistic recovery, you're still going to place your hand where the handle is, because that's your goal. And that little bit of focus, which is key to, you must have had this, but when you're teaching a squad, you go, okay guys, bang out, quick 400 warm up, whatever, and they all go off, and you're looking at them thinking, God, you're awful, what are you doing? And then you go, guys, you know what, how about we bang the underwaters, how about we hit our turns, how about we control our entry, prove to me you've swum before, and then they all look amazing, right? That little bit of focus. We all need that little bit of focus every now and again. And I think that the real skill and the real sort of USP of the Ultifloat is, one, the core connectivity and the legs, but two, the fact that you think about what you're doing. And then once you think about what you're doing and you're controlling your movements better, you improve just like that. And that's been the really, that you can visibly watch a class of kind of 8-9-year-olds who can be often peered, so they might be the sort of bottom group. You watch them pick up nice front crawl arms and breathing within literally 20 minutes, and you're like, and it's because they're thinking and they're focused on actually what they're doing. They've got a physical target, as opposed to just, this is what we're doing, or we're going to try this. They have a physical target for their movement, so they end up actually being a lot more exact and a lot more controlled, and that's the thing that makes a difference.
I guess because they don't see themselves, do they? Which is why the training pools that had the mirrors on the bottom with that constant stream, that's why they've put the mirrors, or they now video. If I'm working with an adult, I will video what they're doing, because then they can actually be like, oh yeah, I was really overextending, or if I was coming across my midline. Whereas with your float, it's that muscle memory then, isn't it? So that constant reminder of, I'm coming back to this position, I'm coming back here. And
you literally can't cross your central line. It just doesn't work, because your hand, there's a little sort of hump there. You go, oh, okay, no. That's the thing. So I do like those video things though. I do you can get, you're right, you can't see yourself. When you see yourself, you go, oh yeah, no, I'm a fan of those. My friend's got one, and it's like whenever you do it, you go, that's actually really helpful. I do that.
And it's also because you can then explain what you're trying to, you can explain in more detail, or you can actually say, now look at this bit here. That's what I'm trying to explain to you about. Or can you see that your hips are too low? Or can you see now? And then they go back and try it, because they've then got that visual in their mind to actually lift their hips or change their head position or whatever it is. So it's almost like your instructions and help, then they see it, and then they will go in and feel it.
when they that's it. When they feel it, they have to. But you don't always notice, do you? You think, I'm doing it right. Actually, you're swimming like you've got a piano stuck at your foot. But actually, you're like, maybe we should, oh my God. Streamlined, who knew?
I know, exactly. And I that's why in my swimming lessons, I do a lot of exploratory play, because they need to feel and move accordingly, because what we may explain to them of what is right might not actually be for them. So it's working out of what works for them individually, which is why I love the fact that you do one-on-ones and twos, but then you also do, of course, have group sessions as well, as helping those out that can't afford the one-to-ones. But you can work really closely with them, but then it's for them specifically as well. So how old do you start with using that?
About 4.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, the minute their legs are moving,
the
minute their legs are moving in any way, shape or form,
right,
you have that first bit where they just want to get in and paddle and play, and that's the one we're building your confidence. Brilliant. The minute they're moving their legs, I want the legs moving front and back, and so get them moving.
The size works then for
size works for them.
It gives them more buoyancy.
Or they hold the back of it either way. But it's you need to keep your legs going, and I'm a huge fan of getting the legs working straight off the bat. The most common question we get at the school is parents coming going, you've got some 5 or 6 year old and they're whizzing up and down their legs, and they always say, when are they can do technique? And you're there like, and I'm always like, first of all, are you a swimmer? And they go, oh God, no, I can't swim. And you go, okay, let's go back to this.
Leave me to it.
Legs are the scales of swimming. And they really are. And if you're not kicking, you're not swimming.
Oh, it's your engine for sure.
And do you want to be flat? Do you want to be straight? Do you want to find breathing really easy? Kick your legs. Do you want a snake with your head up like a Labrador? Then don't kick your legs, and we'll see what happens. And that's something that they always go, oh, okay. And then and I always say you can hear a good squad. I always say that. You walk into a swimming pool, you're not even on poolside, you just go through the door and you can hear a good squad.
You can.
The rolling thunder of legs.
Oh, absolutely. It's just below the surface, but just
the high fives of a lazy squad with their hands just bashing away, and you're like, oh gosh, I want to hear some legs.
I remember before we finish up, and I remember I had one lad, he was a bit older, that came to some of my swimming lessons, and he was really struggling in those lessons. I think he was probably about 6 or 7, and he said that, in my swim school they told me that I needed to just focus on my arms, don't worry about my legs. I'm thinking, okay, I was just like, okay, I'm so glad that you are now here with me.
Yes.
Because we're going to turn that around, because you're just going to do a lot of leg kicking now. So get used to your legs being.
But it's. I have heard that before.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
And you look at it and you just think, okay, yeah, sure, good idea. But invariably, once you get them kicking, they feel better. They're flat, they're straight, right? And they're like, oh, I get it now. Everything's working. You go, absolutely. So we'll just keep that going, and off we go.
It's that seesaw action, isn't it? If your legs are up and you find with your face forward, you'll fly through the water, won't you?
God, I do. I just love legs.
You're a legs man.
I really am. Keep kicking.
Has your wife got good legs?
She does, actually. She does.
Or do you have some videos and people can see it in action, or where would people go and have a look?
Instagram. Would be. So we do have videos on Instagram.
Okay.
They're mostly short clips. We are actually currently in the process of filming some adult beginners learning to swim. So next Friday morning, we're actually starting at filming. We're going to be putting those in sort of clips onto Instagram or onto Facebook and what have you like that. We are, you know what it's like. We're busy little beavers, and it's all
hard to fit all.
It is. But I do think, particularly with a new product, showing people how it works, because so far when I put it in someone's hands, swimmers go, oh, I get this. They get it. And I think that's what we're trying to achieve. We're going to show people, but we're trying to show people who aren't swimmers.
Right.
So swimmers, swim teachers, they're like, I get it. I totally get this. This works.
Yeah.
What we're trying to say now to people is, are you learning?
Right.
Do you want to learn? Do your kids want to learn? What have you? It's a very simple process to use the Ultifloat and follow literally 3 simple instructions, and you can become good at front crawl and back crawl and what have you. So that's the plan that we're trying. So watch this space. I apologize, it'll be me in swimwear, but I'll try and find some other people a bit more handsome than me to try and carry it along a bit.
No, we're expecting you to be in your tidy whities in the pool. It's done. As we come to our end of our conversation, I just have one more question for you, if that's all right, and then we will love you and leave you. So this is our last question, is that we often talk about what we teach swimmers, but what's one thing that a swimmer or a child has taught you that you've never forgotten?
Oh, that's a brilliant question. You're going to get me crying again on this one. Bravery. A little lad was going away for an operation.
Right.
Little fella.
Yeah.
And he gave me a piece of Lego
to
keep me safe while he was away. I swear to God, it killed me.
Oh, bless you.
I'm crying again. It was really lovely. And he was only 5, and it was quite a big operation. And it was so funny. In the middle of all the things we were doing, this lad was thinking, I better make sure my swim teacher's all right. And I was like, oh my God.
That just shows what a nice relationship that you have with your swimmers. And that's so beautiful, because that's one thing that not unfortunately, but you have to have their trust, and you have to have that relationship with your swimmers, and to have that special bond is lovely.
Felt genuinely, he's fine, by the way. He's now 9 and all good. But it was a real moment of, I just thought, it was a real kind of thing where he was like, at this moment, he was still thinking, I better be nice to my swim teacher and what have you. And so that was one. The other one is a wonderful bit of honesty from a lad who was about 11.
Right.
He was a very good swimmer, good swimmer. But one day he just wasn't. He just was having a really bad, really slow day. I went over and I said, are you all right, mate? Is everything okay? Are you injured? And he just goes, oh no, I'm just being lazy. Problem solved.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Thanks very much.
I was like, oh, okay, just
not back by that.
Yeah, but he, you know what? He had a really lazy session.
Yeah.
And then he carried on being fine. So you know what?
Yeah,
maybe
we have
he was just tired that day. But I love his total honesty. Oh no, everything's fine. I'm just being lazy. And you were like, okay then, good.
Right. You've got to say it on the tin sometimes, isn't it?
We can't all be. You can't
on it all
just
the
keep
time.
going. Yeah, you can't be 100 miles an hour all the time. And obviously, this lad was having a day we didn't quite feel 100 miles an hour. But he was honest about it.
At least he was there. At least he got in.
Yeah. Just, I was like,
I love it.
Fair play.
Brilliant.
I had no comeback. I just went,
no.
Carry on.
Knocked you for 6. That's amazing. Paul, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a delight. Thank you. It's been a delight. And you are very right, actually. I think these are, as a community, I think we should be having more of these conversations to A, spread the good word about swimming, and B, I think there are lots of people who aren't swimming enough. It's a life skill, not a sport. Yeah. And I think the more word we can get out and the more people we can talk to, the better. And I really think that. I really do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely a pleasure.
And all the best for your swim school and also for Ultifloat.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely time. We shall be in touch again.
Thank you so much.
Keep well.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Bye.